Good afternoon and welcome, everyone. We are excited that you've taken time out of your day to learn about our newest offering, our Master of Science in Human Resources. My name is Jesus Graffillo, and I'm one of our admissions representatives for Northwood University's DeVos Graduate School of Management. And our team is dedicated to guiding you throughout the admissions process all the way throughout your graduation. So at this time, if you have not yet muted yourself, we do ask that you please do so, and I will give you a second. Just a quick overview of our agenda for the follows. So we'll have our welcome session overview. We'll talk about Northwood University and the DeVos Graduate School of Management. We will review our MSHR program, the design, its objectives, the courses and projects involved, as well as some key program details and facts and highlights. And at the very end, we will have a Q&A and next steps for those of you who wants to get started. I'd like to now introduce you to Dr. Todd Thomas. He's the Associate Academic Dean of the DeVos Graduate School. So welcome, Dr. Thomas.
Thank you very much, Jesus. And like Jesus, I am also thrilled to be here today talking to you about our MSHR. One question that people often have is why an MS in human resources? And I bring that up because we have some very current data from Development Dimensions International, who do a global leadership forecast series. And so this report looks at more than 2,000 human resource executives, over 15,000 leaders. And some of the outcomes that they have looking at 2022 and forward was that companies with high quality diversity and inclusion programs are 9 times more likely to have high quality leadership overall. Internally hired leaders are successful 65% of the time compared to 52% for external hires. And organizations that focus on leading virtual teams during development have a 36% more leaders highly effective at leading virtually than other organizations. I mention that because, as you're going to see in a few moments, these are all areas that are covered in our MS in Human Resources degree. We look at opportunities like this because we develop transformative leaders who drive economic and social progress for a global free enterprise society. This is who we are as Northwood University, and it's also who we are as the DeVos Graduate School. In the graduate school, we focus on developing business acumen, critical thinking, personal effectiveness, and a global perspective and global free enterprise approach. In our learning, we focus on application. We include, obviously, the academic backgrounds that are necessary for you to understand and apply the material, but the real focus is on learning things that you can use right away, that you can use in the development of your career, and also in a problem-based environment so that you can learn to apply and utilize these concepts right away. Our program is focused on what you need as a student, and we believe that this MS in HR is going to be one of those programs that's very successful for you as a student with an interest in human resources. The program design and mission for this specific program started about 2 years ago. We engaged with a wide variety of interested people, not just inside the university, but we spoke to HR leaders across the country. We reached out to employers, we reached out to others who have a perspective on this, and we began to realize that as the industry has developed and grown, it aligns with the capabilities and expertise that we have within the graduate school. So once we saw this alignment, we moved quickly and have focused on creating this highly specialized applied degree that integrates core human resource functions with emerging techniques and capabilities in the field. And you'll see how that happens here in just a couple of minutes. The DeVos MSHR is designed to position graduates as leading subject matter experts and strategic influencers in their organization. So the program objectives focus on not just being able to demonstrate a robust understanding of the way HR fits holistically in the performance of an organization, but also to anticipate HR-related opportunities and threats that face organizations and stakeholders. We believe in our research and courses focus on HR-related functions and capabilities as enablers of internal and external strategies. We have also found in this program, as well as some of our others, that data analytics is an important element of strategic and tactical components of HR-related planning and decision-making. We decided intentionally, rather than having just a one-off standalone course, that we would integrate diversity, equity, and inclusion principles throughout our program so that you can integrate those throughout your organization. And we would take elements of the Northwood idea, which include this notion of personal responsibility, accountability, and working within a free enterprise system to influence organizations and individuals. While these outcomes focus on currency, urgency, and relevancy, we also deliver a unique educational experience and philosophy. As I mentioned a moment ago, we have a bias to application. And so our courses are filled not just with the latest information and knowledge from research and experience, but also exercises, simulations, and dialogue between participants as they bring their experiences from their workplaces and their areas of interest and capability. We have used this method over the last decade or so, not just in our face-to-face programming, but our online and hybrid learning program. All of our professors are academically qualified but have experience in this approach. And the Northwood idea permeates everything that we do. As I mentioned before, it's about individual freedom and responsibility. So our courses in this particular program are designed to empower and energize so that students can innovate and create, and at the same time, hold others and themselves accountable for performance and results. So I would like to now welcome an adjunct faculty member who was intimately involved in the development of this program, Dr. Nicole Runyon. Dr. Runyon has a broad range of industry experience, started her career in shipping and logistics, working aboard the commercial Great Lakes vessels and in steel manufacturing. She held leadership positions in the horticultural distribution industry, and also at a .com in the height of the rise of that phenomenon. Dr. Runyon was an early adopter to online learning and has been teaching online for 20 years. While she's taught classes across the management and business spectrum, her primary area of expertise is human resources, organizational development, project management, leadership, and logistics. And Dr. Runyon is going to talk to you some more about the program. Welcome, Dr. Runyon.
Thank you, Dr. Thomas. What a nice welcome. I appreciate it. This has been such a fun project because, as we have seen over the last, especially 18 months to 2 years, the changes that have happened in organizations, we have been able to design this program with that in mind. And so it's just so timely, given all the needs that organizations have right now with regards to human resources. So to build a little bit on what Dr. Thomas said, these courses and the program is designed with adult working leaders in mind. It's designed with application-based assignments so that students can actually take the concepts and apply them to their workplaces, to their careers, to their professions. And we know from our own pedagogical research that this is how adult learners really can retain and use information. So it is meaningful to each and every individual, because the courses, the assignments are designed so that students can design and choose concepts that are important to them. So for example, let's go through the different MSHR courses that are specific to this program. We start with strategic human resources, which is just the foundational course, more of a survey course that introduces you to all of the functions of human resources. It's my personal favorite because it is a broad topic. But from that, we drill down into all of these important areas like HR analytics, employment law, strategic compensation and benefits, workforce planning and staffing, HR in the virtual world, which again, something that is so important as organizations have transitioned to having employees work from home, to now some going back and to some that are hybrid. It's been an interesting time. And so this is a really important class that keeps this changing environment in mind. Training and development, global human resources, which is so important in this global world we're living in, and 100% aligns with the Northwood outcomes. And then workplace health and safety. And then to reiterate again what Dr. Thomas mentioned is that we've, through each of these 9 core courses, we are weaving diversity and inclusion through each one because it is such a critical element and is such an important topic in 2021 and going forward. So that is woven throughout each of these core courses. Next slide, please. Thank you. And so additionally, in addition to those 9 core courses and in addition to the capstone that we're going to talk about, students have the option to choose from 2 electives in a pre-selected set of DeVos courses that are being taught across multiple disciplines. But we found that these are also very applicable to the human resources field. Human behavior in organizations, and you can see that that's part of the MBA program. The organizational communication is part of the MSOL program. But again, these courses can be taken across different disciplines within the university. Managing and leading people, organizational transformation and effectiveness, organizational culture and systems, introduction to data analytics, because data analytics, we have a course designed for HR and data analytics, but having quantitative information is so important now in modern organizations that you can even dig deeper and take additional courses in that. Measurement concepts and analysis, global perspectives, organizational strategy, process improvement for managers, and strategic management. So students choose the 2 that are the most meaningful to them and take those as their electives. Next, yep, thank you. And then we end it all with a final class, the capstone. And that is perhaps the most exciting class because students build and design their capstone project. It is workplace-based. The idea is that they are going to complete a project that will be meaningful to their workplace in human resources. So it builds on all of the different courses that they have taken before, all of the different knowledge that they have acquired previously, and they build a capstone project around that. So it is a really fun time. It's specific and individual to the student, and they work with a mentor or professor and a organization to design a capstone project that is, again, meaningful to them. And I think it goes back to Todd now for the next slide. Or maybe it goes to Jesus, sorry.
Yes, no, I will take it. Thank you, Dr. Runyon.
Thank you.
Appreciate all the great information. Thank you again. Next, we will go over some key DeVos MSHR details and highlights. As mentioned, the program is 24 months long. Courses run all year long, and you are looking at 36 credit hours for completion, which is 12 courses. It is offered 100% online as the delivery format, with our very next start scheduled to begin on January 10th. So the program can be started either in the fall or spring semester. And again, the next cohort is scheduled on January 10th. We have 8-week courses. The program cost is $825 per credit hour, with each class looking at $2,475, and the approximate program cost is roughly $29,000. What we have is, I would like to note, scholarships are available for those who qualify, and we also have corporate partners across different industries to help lower that price of tuition for any prospective students. The cost of the program, I did mention, we also like to note on there is exclusive of instructional materials required for completion of the degree program. Now, on the very next slide, I know you guys have been waiting for this. So after learning about our MSHR program, you may be asking yourself, so what's next, right? Our admissions process is fairly simple. One key requirement, of course, is that you must have graduated with a bachelor's from an accredited university. We simply ask you to complete and submit an online application, and you can find that at apply.northwood.edu. Submit a resume along with your application. We do request official transcripts from all previous colleges and universities you have attended. A writing sample could be required depending on your qualifications. You'll interview with an admissions representative, such as myself, and a commitment deposit upon acceptance will be required for you to save your spot in the program. One quick note and a highlight, there is GMAT and GRE is not required. And moving forward, on the very next slide, I would just like to quickly touch base on some of other programs we do have in the DeVos Graduate School of Management. We have our highly esteemed Master of Business Administration. We also have a few other Master of Science programs, such as Organizational Leadership, Business Analytics, and we also have our Doctor of Business Administration. So all programs are flexible class formats with 8-week courses, as I previously mentioned. They do all require capstone project, much like what Dr. Runyon mentioned with the MSHR. You are assigned your own dedicated graduate advisor from day one all the way through your graduation when you walk with your capping gown. Scholarships are available, and I would like to mention one more time that no GMAT, no GRE requirements with our very next start on January 10th. So in closing, in the next slide we have is I would like to thank you guys all again for attending our webinar today. We do want to offer the opportunity for questions from our crowd. So please feel free to type them in the chat box on the right-hand corner of your screen in the Q&A portion or in the event chat. And also after we are done with today, you will be receiving an email with our contact information in case you have any questions. And also as a reminder, our spring semester begins January 10th. And now is as good a time as any to get started and apply. So thank you again for your time. And now we'll go through our Q&A section. I think one of the first questions we had is from Stacy. Is there a standard commitment deposit amount that is required? Stacy, yes, there is a $250 commitment deposit upon acceptance. So that holds your place in any program, whether it's MSHR or any of our DeVos Graduate School Management programs. It's a very good question. And the very next question we have is, I will go ahead and pose this to, let's start with Dr. Todd Thomas. The question from the crowd is, how much group work is involved in the program?
Thank you, Jesus. So there is an element of group work that you're going to find. We include this in all of our online programs because in all of our programs actually, because part of the valuable learning that you're going to get is going to come from other participants, other students and professionals that are in the group. I would say that in every course, there is likely to be some kind of group work, but I wouldn't say that it's a large component. There are some of the things that you would expect in an online program, like discussion boards and opportunities to interact with each other. But most of the assignments are going to be focused on you, what your outcomes are, and all of that. So I wouldn't expect a ton of group work, maybe a little, but yeah, that would be how we would approach that.
Okay, perfect. And then since we have you on, Dr. Thomas, the next question is for you as well, is how available are faculty to the students in this program?
So one of the things that we take a great deal of pride in is the answer to this specific question. So our faculty across the board, whether they're full-time or adjunct, if they have been teaching with us or brand new, I think you will find that faculty are as available as they possibly can be. Some faculty will, share telephone numbers and all of that. All of our courses have a fast feedback process so that you can post a question and get an answer very quickly. All of our faculty, with the occasional, exception of maybe a weekend or, Sunday, but even then, if you run into a question and run into a problem, I think you can expect our faculty to respond pretty quickly. This is why they do what they do. We really love that interaction with the student, and we'll try to be there whenever you need us.
Thank you, Dr. Thomas. And the next one we will have is going to be towards Dr. Runyon. So as we wait for Dr. Runyon to come back on, there's a question that was posed more for admissions is, are we able to get financial aid still for this? Yes, financial aid is available to those qualified students, so please feel free to complete your forms at fafsa.gov. And another question was, you are going to be assigned your own graduate advisor. If you're currently a Northwood student now going through your undergrad, you'll be assigned a new graduate advisor, and her name is Stephanie Crampton. Just as a quick fact check, I believe I mentioned $250 for a commitment deposit. I misspoke. My sincere apologies. It is $150 for a commitment deposit upon acceptance to our programs. So again, it's $150 and not $250. And the last question we have on the chat to close us off today is for Dr. Runyon, and it is, how much time will I be spending outside of class on assignments?
That's a good question, and it might vary by week, but ultimately, most classes are designed with weekly discussion boards where you are interacting throughout the week. Hopefully, that's the idea, interacting throughout the week with your peers. And then additionally, since it is application-based, there are quite a bit of writing assignments. So you will spend time writing outside of the class. In addition to that, there of course will be weekly assignments for reading or reviewing media or other kind of resources in your class. So it's an active week that you would have for each and every week. Some weeks will be more involved than other weeks, but we try and balance it out over the course of the session.
Perfect. Thank you, Dr. Runyon.
Mm-hmm.
In closing, so if there's any questions we might have missed today, please feel free to reach out. Again, we'd like to put up our last slide up there if we could, Kennedy, just so we have contact information. And also we'll be emailing you. So thank you again for your time today. Have a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of your week.